Now, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that there were folk that just heard Jesus preach once and boom, they were there. And there might have been a few that stuck around for a little while. But my guess is as soon as things started to get a little hot, as soon as there became real requirements now, sacrifice involved, these would have been the folks, I'm sorry today, that would have fallen by the wayside. Let's face it, what do we know about the disciples? The ones that were with Jesus the whole time. The ones that heard him every day, that lived with him, that were taught by him privately, that would have experienced the miracles firsthand. How did they respond? They ran. And when we get into the season of Lent and into Holy Week, we will see where these 12 men that had been there, that had studied, that had learned, that had accepted the cost, there was a point that they got to where they said, no, I didn't buy into this. And they took off. Even with the foundation that they had. The word immediately sounds good. It sounds like what we'd like to think. Well, if Jesus walked through the door and said, "Tom, follow me," Tom would say, "I'm with you, Jesus." When in reality, Tom would turn to Pat and say, "What do you think?" Am I right? Okay. Y'all laugh at Tom. Yeah. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. I never met, and have not up to this point, anyone that is in the position of pastor, that's gone on to seminary, that's been called to a church, that says, "I woke up one day, Jesus called him. I woke up one day and Jesus called me. And I followed him. Because he called." Nobody. Jesus does not expect that. I don't think Jesus wants that. What Christ is calling us to be, each and every one of us, are committed disciples. A commitment that comes from knowing, from living, from experiencing, and then weighing all the options and the alternatives that are out there, then saying, "I'm yours." That's what Jesus is looking for, I believe, in true disciples. I think that's what we as South Congregational Church are looking for in our members. People who have counted the cost. People who are aware that there will be sacrifice. People who know the expectations and yet still say, "This is for me. This is who I am. This is whose I am." As Jesus called the disciples 2,000 years ago, Jesus still calls us today. We know how they responded. As always, sisters and brothers, the choice is ours. The choice is yours. you are being called. How will you respond? How will we, as South Congregational Church,